Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Space Engineers. Uh, my name is AetherTech, and today I'm just going to be doing a tour of a space station I built while I was having a creative builder's block while working on another project. So, without much more preamble, this is the space station and the project that I was otherwise working on. So originally this was just a platform for my ship, the Kalon, to latch onto so it didn't go flying into space when Clang decided to rear its ugly head. And it just kind of grew from there as I ran out of ideas or got bored of working on the ship itself. I worked on the space station. Overall, it's a very simple design for a space station. It's got a central area and then two wings on the outside that have little docking pads for small ships. And then there's a small little hangar area down below for utility craft. And I decided to paint it black because I honestly don't know. But let's get into it, and hopefully you'll enjoy the designs, or maybe not. It was just kind of a mishmash of ideas as I threw it together. So let's get down to it. This is the main hangar area. The yellow bits on the floor are to line up the landing gear on the Kalon here. They mostly line up with the yellow blocks, as long as the ship is lined up correctly, which is difficult to do, but it usually works just fine. This one line with the blue is the exact center. This station is mirrored port to starboard, or front to back, whatever you want to call it for the space station. So whatever we look at on one side will be the exact same pretty much on the other side. Yeah, let's get some lights going here. So the first thing, we'll take a look at the little docking pads at the end of the arms. A nice view out for visitors. And there's a little rotating signage up there. It just says Station 001 because I haven't figured out a better name for it yet. So each of the arms has two pads on it, although there is definitely room to add more pads, but I put solar panels out for theme. And these are some very old, very not working doors anymore. They're glass doors, but with updates to Space Engineers and some of the mods, the glass is very invisible. Used to be like scratched and visible, so you could at least see it was there. Now it's just invisible. But here is pad number 1. There's a connector in the middle, a landing cross, or whatever is called, some lag, always a good sign, and then a couple of turrets for defending against pirates and large rocks. And Minox. Those pesky Minox. And then just some antennas on the top for theme. Actually, while we're out here, since I didn't do it earlier, here is the top of the space station. Some windows with some blast doors, or hangar doors, cosplaying as blast doors. More solar panels, some turrets, another rotating sign, the basic stuff. Nothing too fancy. So let's go back inside and keep going. Actually, I do kind of like these arms with the angled out glass. It gives it a very large open feeling, even though the space itself is not really that large. Well, you could fly a starfighter through here if you wanted to, until you hit the steel wall. So back into the section right off of the main hangar. So you got a little airlock area here, and then the first little area here, which goes that way, that way, that way, that way, and that way. So for starters, we will just go this way. This takes us up a flight of steps with windows on both sides into another enclosed windowed area. Another nice view out that way, or to just look at the ship while it's here. And then there are a total of 8 of these VIP or officer quarter rooms, separated from the rest of the living spaces in the bowels of the beast. 2 there, 2 at the far end there, and then 2 at the far end there as well. So we'll just check into this one quickly. So you've got a crowd chamber, a bathroom, a desk, a nice little bed with some art, a hanging plant for some extra fresh air, a little sitting area, and then some storage bench locker thing. Pretty basic. I didn't really spend that much time, and when I built this, the available mods were pretty limited, but it worked out pretty nicely. So you can look out into the space while you're working, while you're sleeping, or just come out here and take a gander. And all the rooms are pretty much the same, they're just mirrored a little bit. For example, when I put the couch down in one of them using the mirroring tool, it put it down in this orientation, and I just haven't gotten around to fixing it. Yeah, same old bathroom. And there's a couch out here just in case they just want to sit down and relax and watch the world go by. Moving towards the center again. Another little airlock area, just for safety. Another enclosed, windowed space. I mean, probably just use it for extra storage, really. And then I guess we'll just go upstairs quickly. Oh, wait, am I already upstairs? Where am I located? Well, let's go back down quickly so we get a better feel for it. So we're back down on the main hangar level. There's the hangar. We just went that way and up. So now we're going to go up these stairs in the middle. Ideally there'd be some elevators, but I'm not going to mess with those really. So up here, as we just came from the living quarters down there, there's a little extending walkway thing. You can seal off this area. So it is still a large mass of air to seal off. You can extend the hangar door / catwalk. Oop, let me on there, please. And if the ship was floating a little bit lower, you'd be able to pretty easily jump onto it and walk up the top. But I've got it lifted off the ground, or lifted off the hangar deck right now, since I was testing flying some little worker bees. Not that one. I think they're over there somewhere. Flying some worker bees into the hangar on the ship itself. I'll probably add another actual enclosed door airlock area here just for more thematic stuff. Anyway, we'll go upstairs now. Up to the top deck. So this entire thing is glassed in, even though it is the metal grating. It's glassed in from the underside. So technically it is atmospheric secure. And this is the control room. I can actually lose my lights here now. We got some consoles. Then a nice open window area to take a look at what's going on in the hangar, what's coming and going. A holographic table to project whatever the station commander wants to look at. And then more consoles. I'll add a bathroom up here eventually, probably through one of these one of these walls. I think has enough room behind it for a basic bathroom. But we'll head back down. We're actually going down the opposite side, but since it's mirrored, not much of a difference. And now we're going to head back down to the main hangar level. Down these several flights of twisty stairs. And then these 2 stairways going down. and also on the other side. Meet up downstairs, so they're all basically identical. And this is the primary habitation level for the station's crew, the ship while they're docked, and some visitors. Got some view outside, some plants for fresh air, and then some more stairs going down, but we'll check into those in a little bit. There's 4 big utility rooms, 2 on that side, and then these 2 right here. I've got this one set up as an armory, this one set up as a basic utility room storage. There's a med lab and a sort of a science technical room on that side we'll take a look at, but it's just a room with some gun racks and a little work desk. Nothing too fancy. And on the side, just racks of stuff and some storage. Oops. In the main habitation level, there's 2 separated messes just for appearance. So you'd have a couple of chefs in each one, or cooks, or what have you, cooking up a storm. And we're using some old mods, but that's what was available a couple of years ago. And they don't look too bad, and I kind of like the light blue glow ambience they give. It's very calming, very subtle. There's some rows of cryo chambers on the side. Some more cryo chambers wrapping around to the outside edges where there's more community spaces. Arcade machines, pool table, chairs, more plants, more windows, the laundry machines. And then over there and also right here are the lavatory areas. Not sure why I put glass doors here, to be honest. I should probably change that, but these are pretty basic. You got toilets and sinks on this side, and then lockers and showers on this side. It is co-ed. Giggity. And they get a view outside, so any spaceships out there get a nice voyeuristic view, or you just put the shades down. So the rooms themselves, the quarters, they're pretty basic. They're a desk, a bed, and a locker. And that's just repeats for basically all of them in very similar, if not the exact configuration. They don't have individual windows because they're technically supposed to be quasi-bunkers secure against incoming fire as best as they can, being in the middle of the station. And just some more plants. There is lighting, I'm just not going to turn it on because it generates a bit of lag. And then the other lavatory area, or the heads. And then another communal space. There's quite a lot of communal space given the actual number of crew available to be on board, at least according to the number of rooms, which off the top of my head I can't remember, but it's a lot less than the number of chair spaces available. And again, it's mirrored on that side, pretty much identical. So we'll head down over this way and we can get into the med bay. So this is just a basic med bay, couple of beds, some basic supply stations, a computer for the medical personnel. Technically, while this is a kitchen, it also fits reasonably well into a medical scenario. I'm not gonna think too hard about it, but it looks decent. And then a little private head for the sick people. It's big enough so they can get assisted showers. And on this side we have science/techie, which is just more equipment, some MRI machines, a science doohickey, a double bar, kind of cosplaying as a little laboratory setup area, and then some workstations and workspace. Alright, so let's head downstairs and we'll go to the next part. I should really add the doors in because this is technically supposed to be sealed in this area. I just didn't really get around to that yet. Lots of stairs, unfortunately. I never got around to adding the heavily modified elevators that would be required. So, as you can see, it goes down still, but this is the manufactory and storage level. So on one side, just have a lot of large cargo containers connected together. And on the other side, we have a manufactorium. Manufacturing area, factory area, I don't know. At the end of which are some power reactors, I think from XPAR mods, another pretty old mod, but it was what was available. And they give off a nice bit of light. The colors on the ground is actually where the gravity field actually terminates, conveniently enough. So we have gravity, and now we don't. Well, now we don't here, but anyway, make sure you get your mag boots equipped before you go down to the red area. And it's basically the same thing on this end, minus having any power generators. It's just storage, and that's pretty simple mass storage system. Alright, we will go downstairs into the final habitation level with, of course, more windows. Down a little bit more, and going left or right or across to the other side and going left and right are just two more lounges on each side. These are nice, quiet, out of the way, very private lounge areas. Basically, if you get tired of all the hustle and bustle upstairs, you come down here, just relax and look out at the stars. And there's a little head here for convenience. And then the interior windows look out on the little entrance to the lower sub-hangars, little utility craft hangars. And that is this way, through these doors. Is the door open or closed? Schrodinger's door. It was closed, now it's open. So we're just going to head down here, down a very boring hallway, through the industrial doors, which I really do like the look of. So this door just goes out into the component area with the big stack of batteries over there, and then some other stuff down that way and that way. Nothing interesting really, just basic interior of a space station stuff. And here is the divider for the gravity. So gravity, no gravity. So let's go back inside, close that up, and we go into the lower hangars. So let us open the gates, turn on the lights. Does this do anything? Yeah, that is lights, and that does nothing. We can turn off our lights. And these are the little utility craft hangars. You could get bigger utility craft in here. These are just what I threw together. So there's one there and this one here. And they just kind of fly in and out through this little area here. You can also use these for storing impounded ships if you're a police force. I thought about cutting this out, but I kind of just like the way it looked. It also provides a nice anchoring point for the design with some antennas and this wedge shape at the bottom. Ties the design in nicely, I think. There's a couple of turrets for defending this area from space beasties and invasion forces, but it's pretty basic otherwise. Some catwalks for decoration, the hinged light, which is relatively new. I really like hinges, by the way. What a great addition to the game, in my opinion. They've opened up a lot of building variety, I think, and a lot easier to use than, what are they called? What are the rotating things called? Gonna have to look it up. I can't even remember what they're called because I just don't use them anymore because I don't do complicated builds. Cylinder, no, piston, conveyors, rotors, right. Hinges replaced rotors in a lot of things, and they're much simpler to use. So let's head back up in here, close these up, turn these off. Perfect. And now we'll begin the lengthy trek upstairs. It's a bit of a jog, to be honest. Schrodinger's door? Yes. Up, up, up we go. Back to the top. There's a couple more little things to look at. Don't get dizzy, please. And now we're back on the main hangar level. And we'll head out here and look at the last little bit of the features. So out here we just got spotlights on hinges, some more spotlights on hinges, some fixed spotlights, some skylights with blast doors / hangar doors, a little ramp thing that you can drive up to the ship and go up the ramp and jump onto the ship easily. Some big blast doors, which we should probably show off. Hello? Did I turn the power off? Nope, the power is on. Am I too far away? Well, that's weird. That was working just a moment ago, so let's grab this quickly and find the hangar gates. There we go. And close those up, and I'll have to figure out the ownership issue later. So these are just some modded hangar doors that are super long. I believe 32 blocks here, maybe 28. But they just close it up on both ends. And creates a nice protected hangar space that would also technically be airtight. I do wonder why this... Oh, wait a minute, did I turn off my... that might be the problem. Did that fix it? There we go. Turned off my broadcast antenna thing. And then they open. And yeah, that's about it. So there's it's a little cramped getting the ship in here. It takes a steady hand, but it's perfectly doable. Unless, of course, your sim speed is like 0.4 or 0.3 when this thing's actually flying around. And that makes it more difficult to control it because it gets difficult to maneuver how you want it when it reacts that slowly. And then I've just got some little worker bees and a scout bee that I shoved up inside of this thing. And yeah, that is the unnamed space station that I built to house the Kalon gunship while it's not out and about. And because I needed something to do while I had creative block while working on the big ship itself. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. Oh, I forgot a feature. Hold on. Sorry, one more feature. I put in a little extending connector for docking up big ships. Nope, that's not it. There they are. So just 2 pistons and a connector. So it doesn't look like a airlock tube, but that was kind of my intention of what it was supposed to be, without those mods actually existing at the time. Otherwise, it's really just a connector on some pistons. And it extends just far enough out where it gets a little bit of clearance from the edge of the hangar deck. And yeah, that's it. Oh, yes, also red and blue for the gravity line. 0 gravity and gravity. It's actually kind of funny how it worked out because I did not plan for this to be exactly on the gravity line when I built the station, and then put the gravity generators just literally in the middle on each side, and it just worked out. So this is just the natural end of the gravity. Kind of interesting, but ultimately just a little useless fact. So again, hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions or critiques or suggestions, I'm always happy to hear those. I've been pretty bored lately with the whole pandemic and not going out and all of that, so I'm always happy to work on little projects here and there. Otherwise, have a great day.